Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I'm doing a night video because this is one of the best times to record where I'm not doing no tarot cards, so I ain't got to worry about if the baby want me to pick her up. This is her time to play, so of course it's always about her. So you might hear Coco Melon in the background, and I do not own copyrights to that show at all. But okay, so tonight's topic, I wanted to talk about merge. Okay, not just merge, but why it's important that if you're getting yourself together, like say for instance you started a spiritual journey, or even if you didn't start a spiritual journey but you started like trying to improve your life and trying to heal, your self-care journey and stuff, that it is highly important that your partner be working on their self. And reason why I can actually speak on a marriage, because they always say you can't get advice from single people. While I am single right now, I was once married and my marriage failed. So what better way to learn from failure, right? So I saw the ins and out of it, you understand? Being the one who was always constantly trying to better myself, and my spouse was just like the spouse of the world. He worried about appearances, and though at that time sometimes I worried about that as well, but I still was looking to better myself. He just wanted it to appear like he was being, getting his stuff together, but he really didn't care deep down what was really going on. And I'm not here to bash him. I'm just telling you, I'm speaking from experience, not just my own experience I watch other people. I tell people all the time, I study everybody. Like, if you're around me, you part of my study. Period, point blank. If you don't feel comfortable with it, don't be around me. Because it's not that I like, it's not that I like just take your life and pick it apart. It's just I notice everything about people. I can't help it. I've been that way my whole life, since I was little, since I can remember having a memory. I just always watch people and the way they move and how they did things, right? So back to what I was saying. When you elevating and you really getting yourself together and your spouse is not, y'all will grow apart. And it can cause so many unnecessary strenuous tension and issues in your marriage, or your relationship. Because this not even just for married people. I think I'm going to talk about like having a spouse, period. Because just because you have a piece of paper, that don't make you less married than being in a commitment. You understand? You just have the government that signed. And yeah, you took an oath by God, but when you really commit your heart to someone, you take an oath by God too to be right by them. So excuse me. But anyway, so no, you can't have it, my mom. You can't have it. I can't give it to you because then you want to turn the camera off, and I want to talk. And what, you want to sit up here with me? I think. But yeah. So like I was saying, you really have to make sure your partner is growing with you. Like, okay, see the thing about it is when you start really wanting to fix your insides, meaning like getting healthier, fixing your mental, your emotional, you understand, your emotional body, your physical body, your mental body, you have to have a partner that's willing to grow with you. Because the more you work on yourself, the more you learn yourself, the more you start loving yourself, the more you won't be able to tolerate what you once tolerated before. Now, it is, how they say, how did the old people stay together? How did the old folks stay together? Because they were willing to put up with a lot of toxicity. And I'm not saying every person who made it all the years of marriage had a toxic relationship in the beginning. But if you ask and you talk to the older people, a lot of them will tell you they stuck around through a lot of mental, verbal, and some physical abuse. I had to call quits on my marriage because it was physical and mental and emotional abuse going on. I'm sorry, I'm not your ride or die. I am not a ride or die. I'm not riding and I'm not dying for no one. If you're not treating me the way I know I deserve to be treated, and even back then I didn't half love myself the way I do now, but I knew that I didn't deserve to get my ass beat or have nobody put their hands on me or nobody constantly call me bitches and hoes. You understand? So Also, disclaimer, I'm gonna warn you, on this channel I use curse words. I say it on my other channel. I have a tarot channel. If you're interested in following, follow me. I mean, you know, follow me, subscribe to me or whatever at Just Beauty. Just Beauty. That's it. So, but anyway, the link is in my description box. Well, not link, because I don't know if you could click it, but whatever the case may be. Back to what I was saying. I'm not, I am going to use curse words, and I'm not going to filter it out. It's a little sprinkle, it's a little seasoning to my conversation. If you don't like it, you can always click off. And I really don't mean to offend nobody by saying that, but it's the truth. I might not be the person that you want to listen to. I'm just going to keep it real, and I'm going to talk how I want to talk, because it is my channel, and I'm not saying it any other way than factual, okay? But back to what I was saying. I am not your ride or die. I was not sticking around to keep getting my ass choked on and thrown around, and I don't know if you come home and I'm going to be dead the next day because you in a bad mood, you took some drugs that you know, you couldn't handle. Whatever the case may be, it wasn't for me. But the older folks tend to stay around much longer because they tolerate it. They felt this extreme need to put up with stuff that who I am now, I can't see myself putting up with. Even with family and friends, I can't put up with abuse of any sort. I don't tolerate it. Manipulation under no circumstance. You gotta go. I will X you out my life with the fucking quickness. But like I was saying, I salute the ones who can stick through and wait for a person to change and not decide they want to hit on you or talk to you crazy. Salute to you. You had that took, I'm not even going to say strength, because I don't believe sticking around for stuff like that is strong. Now that I know some stuff, I feel like strength is walking away from what don't serve your highest good. Strength is walking away when you know you're being mistreated and abused. Strength is being able to stand up for yourself no matter what people around you say or how you feel like they're going to judge you. Because when I decided I wanted to split from my husband, I had so many people, oh, y'all have children together, y'all have 2 children together. And our last child was only 1 when I decided to walk. I'm trying to get that tea down before it get cold. But anyway, I'm not the kind of person that's going to stick around for that. You know, yes, we did have 2 children. We had history. We were high school sweethearts. But at a certain point, he flipped. He switched. I'm not sure if it was the drugs. I don't know what it is to this day that really made the man flip. But, well, I ain't going to say I don't know what it is. I know he was abused. He was traumatized. And eventually that stuff come out when you don't get the proper help, the proper healing, the proper therapy. It comes out. They're all people traumas come out when you're not healing. So me sticking around for that, I couldn't. It was like, I saw my life flash before my eyes one night when he almost killed me. It was too much for me. So what I did learn from my marriage is, at that time, I had just had a baby. She was only 1. I was able to stay out of work with her, you know, for the first year. But I had a baby. She was only 1. I was trying to better myself, find a better job, you know, just trying to get my life together, you know, and just do more. And he didn't care about that kind of stuff. I did. So even if I didn't know it, I had already started working on myself. I was getting more into God and trying to find, you know, excuse her, she's on the court, but I was trying to find God, and you know, I was trying to get back right with God, you know, trying to build my bond, because I've always had one with him. But of course, as a teenager, you do what you feel like you grown and you want to do what you want to do. So I had already begun, you know, like my healing journey, but I didn't know, I didn't have a title for it. I just know I wanted to get myself together, because the heaviness and the burdens I carried on my heart was so heavy that nobody could help me but God. And because I started seeking that way, you know, I actually started going to some churches, joined the church, an apostolic church, because we were brought up Christians. But I joined the apostolic church, and nothing helped. But he went with me sometimes, but most times he didn't, you know. I just couldn't, you know, I couldn't stand it. It was like the more I grew, the more I saw that this was not the kind of man I wanted to be with. He was worried about the world. He was worried about looks. He was worried about what other people thought and how he can be flashy and, you know, things that I was outgrowing. You know what I mean? Because we all grow. You're supposed to grow. And I learned that by him not really growing emotionally, it was like hindering me. It was keeping me stuck. Not only stuck within myself, but stuck to his abuse and stuck to his ways. I just wasn't willing to put up with it no more, you know? So my advice really is to, if you are on any type of journey to better yourself, I don't care what religion you are, I don't care what faith you have, I don't care what kind of practice you have. If you are bettering yourself and you have a spouse or a spouse or a partner, please make sure they're growing with you, because either you grow together or you grow apart. And if you love that person, of course you're going to want what's best for that person. But something else I learned while being married to a guy who wasn't really trying to grow, was that you cannot push healing on anyone. I don't care how much you love them. I don't care how many years you've been with that person. I don't care if y'all had 20 kids together. If that person is not ready to grow and mature, it's not up to you to make them. Now, hopefully that person ain't so traumatized that they see that, wow, things is getting better for you. It encourages them and it inspires them to grow, you know, so they'll want to get their stuff together too. But if they decide that they don't want to grow and they don't want to change, I have a question. What do you do? I mean, I know what I would do, but to the ones who don't believe in divorce, what do you do? Do you stick around and basically you learn that you're being a mother more so than a spouse to your spouse? You understand? Because you'll find out that a lot of things that you felt like was missing and wrong on the inside all stem from childhood, from your parental guidance. Be it you grew up with your grandmother, your mother, whoever raised you. And especially if you didn't grow up with your biological parents, that also brings in some sort of abandonment wounds, you know? So you'll realize that no. You'll realize that, thank you, I appreciate it, thank you. You can't have the thing, baby. You can't have it, I can't give it to you. You'll realize that most of the traumas and things that your spouse is going through is parental related. You understand? So then it's like, okay, at those times you have to start learning how to mother and father yourself when you are healing your own wounds. Because once again, nobody can heal you. Not a therapist, not a priest, not a preacher, not a pastor, not a friend, not a psychic. No one can heal you but you. Now, people can help you aid and give you some knowledge on what to do, suggestions and stuff, but they are not in charge of your healing. You are. So that means that if you are remothering yourself, because you have to, and you'll have to, especially if you have mother wounds, if you have father wounds, you're going to have to father yourself. You understand? That means that if you're growing and you're doing all this work with yourself, that person you're with and they not trying to grow with you, excuse me, she got a piece of paper. Thank you. No, Pope. But that person you're with, thank you, Bubs. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, that's a sweet baby. That's my sweetie. Come on. Thank you, sweethearts. But thank you. You have to realize that you can't mother. It's not healthy to mother a grown-up. Not a man fathering a woman, being a father figure to the woman, or a woman being a mother figure to the man, or whichever. Even if you're gay, it doesn't matter. Energy, we all embody the masculine and feminine energy. You cannot mother and father another human being. I mean, you can try. I'm gonna tell you, because I've tried. You could try without me knowing that I tried. You can try, but it don't go right, and it don't go well. It's like, it's a disaster. It's really a disaster. But I just say, grow with your spouse, grow with your partner. And I'm not saying that your marriage going to end or nothing, or your relationship going to end. I'm just giving you my thoughts, my opinions from what I saw, from what I've been through. I watched other people go through it. And I see couples stay together even though one is trying to elevate the other. I see it, but I see the damage it causes. I see the discord they become once one is really elevating and the other is staying still, because then the person who's elevating, be it the man or the woman, you know, whichever person in the partnership is elevating, the other one tends to start having resentment. They start thinking that one think they're better than them. They start projecting, basically, you know, oh, you think you're so perfect, or you know, they start trying to beat them down with their words. Or in some cases, if they're not verbally abusive, they go out and cheat because they don't feel adequate enough for that person. They feel inadequate. They feel like they're not good enough. So, you know, they start getting this void, which really is just things that they need to heal, you know. But most people, a lot of people, and I'm gonna say that most people don't recognize when they feel that void in themselves is something that they need to work on within themselves. So they go out into the world and try to fill that void with another human being. Excuse me, because at one time that their spouse was filling that void, temporarily filling that void, till their spouse decided they wanted to elevate. So it is so important that if you have a spouse or you have a partner, that you both grow together. Because worst thing is when something can be saved, you know what I mean? And then sometimes, let me just tell you this, you gotta learn when to let go. If you spend your time working on yourself and you realize your partner don't even want to try. I'm big on detachment now. Now, I'm not saying it like I always been, because it took me a long time to leave my ex-husband. Like, we were together for a long time, so it took me a long time to detach from him. It took me a long time to learn how to detach from family, friends, from people, period. Because I had abandonment issues, you understand? I had deep mother wounds, deep father wounds and stuff, you know? So it took me a long time to detach from people. So the me now, though, I don't believe in holding on longer than what I have to. If I'm not valued, or even if, because sometimes people can hurt you, don't know they hurting you. But if I see that, you know, you have those issues and you're not working on yourself, I gotta go. I have to go. So sometimes you gotta learn when to let go, even when it hurt. You know, it's like when you stay with someone and you are not happy and you're growing, but they're standing still, it's like you feel stuck. And you feel like you start actually resenting that person for not getting their shit together. I know how that feel. Like, it makes you feel like, if I can do it, why can't you? But everybody's not the same. And once again, we are not in charge of anyone's healing, you know. We can't tell someone when they need to work on themselves, or, well, because I'm doing it, you should too, just because we're together. It don't go like that, you know. So you got to be willing to do what's best for you at all times. At all times. And I'm not saying just give up instantly. Of course, try. Especially if y'all have a committed relationship. Try. I say try. You know, speak life into your partner. You understand? You know, research things together. That way, because you can get someone intrigued by, you know, doing things around them, and maybe they'll pick up on what you're doing. I believe in that, you know. Be a positive influence, you know. No, don't you touch that. And don't you come over here hit me. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. I'm telling you, this little girl tries me every day. But she's so damn cute. What's that? But you just, you know, you can just, all you can do is lead by example. Lead by example. And if you notice that it's not rubbing off on them, talk to them. And, you know, I don't say just give straight up. But if you put so much work into talking to them and they still don't seem motivated, you gotta be afraid. I mean, you gotta not be afraid to walk away from what, like I said, can you not touch the camera? Thank you. You gotta not be afraid to, you know, do what's best for you. You know, do whatever's best for your highest good. So, I think I'm gonna make a video on detachment as well. I'm not sure yet. But that was my message, you know. Grow with your partner or grow apart. So that's the message for tonight. And I'll talk to you guys later. I love y'all.